pulse width modulation and pulse position modulation. So this is the second type, second and third type in pulse modulation. We have discussed about PAM. So pulse width is where the width changes, and pulse position is where the position changes. Okay, so in both the cases, in this case the amplitude and the position remains, here the amplitude and the width remains. So like that, each definition will be vice versa to each other. So here the generation, here I'm considering my input signal with the sawtooth signal. The sawtooth will be given to the negative of the comparator, and x of t, the input, that is a message signal, is given to the positive of the comparator. And this point I'll be getting the output as a pulse width modulation, which is given to the multi vibrator, and I'll be getting a ppm. Okay, so here you can see this is a sawtooth output. Okay, and this is my x of t is my input signal. So this is two has to be compared, so it is just overlap like this, it is shown. And you can see at each instant you'll be having the pulse generated. Okay, so I'll be comparing these two and the pulse is generated. So you can see the width changes as my input is of higher order, and the width gets reduced as the width it is of the lesser order. Okay, so here you can see from this to here the width, and from here to here the width, and from here to here the width. So the as the pulse changes the from the positive to negative, the train of pulses is calculated. Okay, so here it is small, and here this is the width, and here this is the width, this is the pulse width output. Okay, so here this output, this particular output is sent to the monostable multi vibrator. So when it is sent, so this will be acting as a triggering point. So at the end of the pulse, the the pulse position gets shifted. So at the end of each pulses it gets triggered, and you'll be having the change in the position, and the width doesn't changes, and the amplitude also doesn't changes, the position of the pulse gets changes. So this is the main thing here. Next we'll go for the deduction of generation part is over. Next we'll go to the deduction parts of pulse width and pulse position. Okay, so this is the block diagram of width, and this is the block diagram of PM. Okay, so first time input will be the signal. So when after passing through the channel at the detection part, surely there will be interference of the noise. So first we have to eradicate that noise, then only we'll be able to get a proper message signal. Okay, so first so here you can see the with signal plus noise because of the transmission through the channel, and it is given to the pulse generator. Okay, and ramp generator, again reference pulse generator will be having. So you consider as A, B and C, D. So first we'll see the waveform for this, then we'll go for the clipper. So first A will be my signal plus noise. So you can see, so this is the signal plus noise. So this glitches, you call it to be as a noise in the signal. So this gets eradicated by the generator, and you'll be getting the proper signal. So this will be at this point I'll be having the proper pulse. So this will be giving to a reference here, and this is sent to a ramp generator. So that will be your CND. So here you can see the positive of the pulse, the ramp gets sloped, and the negative it gets sustained and it gets come down. So for the next pulse, if you see, it's starting from here and it's ending at here. So the ramp position will be coming like this, and the negative half it's sustained and come like this. So like this the ramp signal is generated, and this will be the reference where my ramp is changing the position. So from here it is gets changes. Okay, so after the particular delay, it will be you'll be having the position change, that is the reference value of my pulses. Okay, now this is the reference and the ramp signal is generated. So these two is added and it is given to the clipper. Okay, so here this and this gets added. You can see the ramp, above that I'm having this pulse, and this here also it gets added above the position. So this gets added, and after the clipping of this particular particular pulse gets sustained here. So you can see the output. So this is the normal change. You can change in the amplitude. So this will be my PAM pulse, and this I have to send to a low pass filter in order to get a proper sine wave. So this will be, again after this I'll be tracing like this to get a normal sine wave. So I'll just again tell this. So I'm having my pulse with the noise. So you can see the glitches here. After this generator, it is made into normal pulses, and this normal pulses, after the ramp signal, you can see starting and ending of the pulses here. So you can see here, it gets started here, and negative of this, it gets like flatten, and it's come here. Next positive cycle, negative cycle, it gets like this and it comes here. And this will be my reference for the pulse to, after a delay the pulses gets, and the pulses, this will be a reference pulses, and both gets added up, and I'll be using the clipper, and I'll be getting my PAM pulse. And this, after the low pass, when I trace, I'll be getting a proper M of t. Whereas in PPM, the PPM input which is generated, when I send it to a low pass, I'll be getting a normal message signal. Okay, so their position changes. So with that, we'll be tracing and you'll be getting the output. Okay, so when I'm considering the advantages and disadvantages of width and position, so the noise is less here because we are not modulating my amplitude, so the noise will be less and no need of any synchronization. So the width is just changing based upon the input level. So no need of synchronization, and we can easily separate the noise. This is the advantage. Whereas disadvantage is each width, that is a pulse width varies. So width changes means the power also gets vary. So variable pulses creates variable power. So the transmission also should have that much powerful in order to transmit. Okay, so the bandwidth required is high. And here in advantage, when I'm considering, so here it's a constant amplitude of pulses, so power remains. So the amplitude is maintained here, so the power remains. And noise is also less, and it's easily to separate the signal from the noise. And of course we need the synchronization here in order to get in we need the synchronization here no need synchronization, but here in PPM we are in need of synchronization, and the bandwidth required is high. In the both the cases we high. So for last, we'll see the comparison of all the three which we have discussed today. So here types of when I'm considering the types of carrier, so the train of pulses, here also the everywhere, since it is a PM, the carrier will be the train of pulses. Okay, so the here I'm changing the amplitude, and there is the width, and there will be the position. And when I'm considering the bandwidth and required, if you see here, it is of low and high. Okay, comparatively I'm telling, so this bandwidth will be high when I compare to this. Okay, so the immunity level, noise immunity here low, but we can able to have a noise immunity to be high here. Okay, so the amplitude varies, width varies, and the position varies. So here varies with the amplitude of pulse, varies with the width, and it remains constant. Okay, so this is width varying, so width varies, its amplitude varies, so amplitude here only the position changes, so it remains the constant. And the generation complex, and the width is easy, and this is complex. Okay, so the similar, it can tell amplitude changes, you can tell it to be as an AM, and this will be the pulse modulations. Okay, so this is a simple diagram of the wave. So thank you.